Again.
I can't do this. I can't do this. I forget to start. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to Orioles Podcast Feud, hosted by Give That Fan a Podcast. This is a Family Feud style double elimination trivia-ish off-season tournament featuring your favorite Orioles podcasts. We appreciate you tuning in to watch the show. You can follow along with us live on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook. Audio versions can be found later on Spotify, Apple, pretty much wherever you want. Everything is posted to UtahStreetReport.com. I do not own the rights to the upcoming intro music. Please don't yell at me. Enjoy the show. All right, we have round two of our championship matchup. Florida Prospect Report prevailing in the first matchup, which means we have a rematch. I'm out of breath because I was just scrambling to get a cat out of the room. I didn't realize when I shut the door, I locked the cat in here. So I'm going to catch my breath. Eric and Bailey, how are you feeling after winning your fifth straight, this time in the championship?
Well, no need to worry. I have a cat in my room too, so not the end of the world. But they wrote us off, but we didn't write back. So hoping we can keep the magic alive for one more game and wrap it up.
So close we can almost taste it.
Almost. Now, Zach and Paul, a little bit of a disappointment in the first matchup, came in undefeated. Paul, you weren't a big fan of my questions. I think this time around you'll be a little more satisfied. You think it's time for redemption?
So I'm just ready to play.
Fair enough. Zach, you ready?
I'm just ready to play.
All right. I like that attitude. No more messing around. It's time for business. I'm going to share my screen. We have a brand new, fresh, clean scoreboard, and we're going to move on to question one. And Paul and Bailey, I switched up the buzzing opponents. Paul and Bailey, the first question will be for you. There are 98 points available in question number one. The top 8 answers are on the board. Make sure I have the chat open. Fill in the blank. The first thing I do when I enter Oriole Park is blank. Bailey.
Utah Street. Go to Utah Street.
Walk Utah Street. Take it all in. Those are kind of grouped together. Paul, can you give me an answer that's higher on the board?
Get a beer. Did Ryan freeze?
Yeah,
I think Ryan froze.
Yeah,
Ryan froze.
Looks like it was going to be the number 2 answer.
I think it was the number 2 answer.
There he is.
I
There's
lost
Ryan.
Everybody. I'm sorry. Are we back?
We just saw a nice engagement picture of you there.
Yeah.
You took you to my wallpaper.
It flashed right before you came back on. It was like a split second. Subliminal imagery.
Interesting. Well, I must have lost my internet for a second because I lost all of you at the same time. So I guess that's on me. Beer me. That is the number 2 answer, which means the bat around. Would you guys like to pass or play?
Paul, I don't know, man.
I
think they could easily get all 8 because, again, it's one of these subjective ones where you get 3 strikes to do it. You can just bounce them back and forth.
Nothing's popping into my head, man. I think
really. I mean, I got a few.
Well, you make the call, man. I led us astray last game.
No. Let's pass on it.
All right,
let them do it.
All right, going to pass, which means Bailey and Eric. So Bailey, you buzzed in. Eric, that means the board is yours. Fill in the blank. The first thing I do when I enter Camden Yards is blank.
Boogs Barbecue.
Grab some food, hit up Boogs. Those are grouped together as well. Bailey, the board is yours now. 5 answers left. Still have all 3 of your strikes.
I'm going to keep it really straightforward and say, go to my ticketed seat.
Go to my seat, the number 1 answer. Eric, can you keep the momentum going?
Go to Boogs, find my seat. I try to be as social as possible at the game, so find my friends or other people that I know are at the game. I guess find my friends. That's right. I don't
Good
have
answer.
it.
I like I like the way you're thinking. Not quite on the board. Maybe people are thinking they are already entering the stadium with my friends. I don't know, but didn't quite make it. Bailey, back to you. 2 strikes left to work with.
I like that answer a lot, Eric, as well. I'm just gonna say the first thing I do when I go to a ballpark, and that's stake out a spot for autographs.
A good answer, but I think a very niche answer as well.
Probably. Yeah.
I like the way you're thinking, but that is your second strike. Eric, you have 4 answers left on the board. You need to get one, or else the bat around will have a chance to steal. Fill in the blank. The first thing I do when I enter Camden Yards is blank.
Go to the souvenir store.
Go to the team store, the Orioles Authentic Shop, both there on Utah Street. That brings you up to 78 points.
Okay.
Really, there are still 3 answers left that you'll need to get if you want to prevent Paul and Zach from stealing. What do you do when you enter Camden Yards or a baseball stadium?
And the other thing I had on my mind besides autographs was team store. So good answer there.
Thank you.
Like I have 3 in my head, but I feel like 2 of them might fall under the Utah Street umbrella. So I'm nervous to say them. So with that being said, like if I said walk around the concourse, is that the same as take it all in, or is that a different answer?
Yeah, that's basically the same. Take it all in.
All right. Then I'm gonna say go to the bullpens.
Bullpen is going to be strike 3, which means the bat around you guys may discuss. You may steal the board. Fill in the blank. The first thing I do when I enter Camden Yards is
Zach,
blank.
I'm thinking hit the bathroom.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Hit the bathroom. But hold up. Before we answer, let's just think through other possibilities. We do have time here.
There could be like those new 30 years of Camden Yards things that they have in there, where they have
I don't think anyone answered that.
different
Though.
memorabilia, different stuff, sightseeing. You could hit the picnic area to see the
Yeah.
statues. I think hit the bathroom though is.
Let's just go bathroom. Yeah, I think that's a pretty popular answer.
Hit the bathroom.
Something I should have done between shows. Hit the bathroom.
Good answer.
The bat around steals the board. 85 points. You can continue guessing if you'd like. There are still 2 answers left and a few points to be had.
I think
the statues.
The statues, does that fall under everything else though, like concourse? I feel like that's kind of all part of it.
Does it?
Not quite.
Okay, we can go with that.
Yeah, I think it's statues.
It is not on the board. I would have grouped it separately as a specific site to see, but your points will stop there at 85. Number 8 answer, and I think this is some.
Sorry, Ryan.
Well, number 6 answer. Head to the
Should've
flag court, catch some batting practice.
I think a flag court in Utah Street Street is the same thing.
When I said I had 2, the other one besides walking in the concourse was flag court, but I was like, it's either way. They said bathroom, we didn't, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I grouped it with batting practice because that was the more popular answer, and that could be on the flag court or center field, left field, bleachers, any of that. But find a spot and try to catch some batting practice, snag a ball or 2. The number 6 answer, and then at number 8, I feel like people do this at just about every stadium. I know I do. Take some obligatory pictures. Could have been grouped with taking it all in, but it was a separate specific answer, so I went with that. And then honorable mentions. Head to the Birdland Member Clubhouse. I guess they have offers there for season ticket holders. And then the kids corner. If you got some kids, keep them occupied. Take a picture with that bobblehead mascot thing. There's a lot to do.
I'd like to think if you polled how many people did you say you polled? 70, 80 people?
70. I ended up with about 74 total responses. And there were 2. Everyone gave me 2 answers to each question.
Gotcha. I'd like to think if you polled 1,000 people, you get a lot of people to say the statue area. I just think that area is really cool. And for people to not say it enough to be on the board or even be an honorable mention, I don't know.
It was a cool area.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Share screen. StreamYard changed the share screen tab, and now I have like 3 extra clicks to share my monitor, which is a little annoying. Bet Around starts off strong in this championship matchup with 85 points right off the bat. We're going to move on to question 2, and that will be for Zach and Eric. Question number 2, there are 97 points available. The top 7 answers are on the board. Name a year in which the Orioles won the American League East. Zach.
14.
2014, the number 1 answer. Would you guys like to pass or play?
I'm not going to know all of them. I'll be honest with you. I just don't.
I don't think they're going to know all of them either.
Yeah.
Let's pass.
Yeah, I agree.
I know enough of them that I think we can come back.
Okay.
All right. Going to take the chance and try to steal later on. Eric, the board is yours. Name a year in which the Orioles won the American League East.
1997.
1997, wire to wire, lost to Cleveland in the ALCS or DS. I don't know. A fun season cut short. Bailey, we're back up to you. Name a year in which the Orioles won the American League East.
Probably a smart decision to pass because the only time they did it in my lifetime is 2014, and the only one I was 100% confident of. Eric said 1997, so I'm just gonna say a year that they won the World Series. So maybe they won it the AL East in 1983.
They did indeed. 74 points now on the board. 4 answers still left. 3 strikes to work with. Eric, name a year in which the Orioles won the American League East.
Ooh, I'm hesitating about going backwards chronologically. Oh, man. I'm going to say 1979.
1979 on the board. Division champs. Bailey, we're back to you.
So the tough part for me is I know when you go far back enough, they weren't even like the divisions were different than they are today. So I don't want to guess too far back, but I'm going to go with my strategy from last time and say a year they won the World Series, 1970.
1970 on the board as well, cruising right along here. 2 answers left is all you need. There are still all 3 strikes left to work with, so you have a little bit of a safety net. Eric, we're back to you. Name a year in which the Orioles won the American League East.
I'm gonna say 2015.
I forgot this is the one where my slide is a little off, so I have to do the strikes differently. But 2015, they did not win the American League East. I believe they finished 83 and 83.
81 and 81.
Oh, yeah. That's how math works. 500 team. Bailey, back up to you.
Well, my strategy of naming World Series victory years has not failed me yet, so I'm going to say 1966.
Oh, wait. A good guess, but, well, I won't say anything yet. Eric, back to you. Down to your final strike. Still 2 answers left. Name a year in which the Orioles won the American League East.
'71.
71 is on the board. There is 1 answer left. You have 1 strike left. Bailey, the pressure's on. Name a year in which the Orioles won the American League East.
Really glad Eric said 71 because that was one of the 2 answers I had in my head. Don't know if the other one's right. Probably isn't, but I'm not really sure where else they guess. So I'm going to say 1969.
Really?
A clean
Bailey.
sweep. They won it in 69.
That was a bad pass because as soon as we said pass, I counted all those in my head. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
That was a bad pass. Really bad.
We got lucky.
Scared me with the 2015, but I'm glad we clutched that.
There's definitely a correlation between the Orioles going to the World Series and winning the division. Bailey, your answer of 1966, they did win the division, but it was not the American League East.
Right.
It was just the American League.
It was the
Divisional play
American
didn't begin
League. Oh, that's
until
so messed
69.
up.
So a little bit of a trick question there, but 1966, although the Orioles won the World Series, not on the board. And then they also won the division in 73 and 74 back to back. But people don't remember that because there wasn't any World Series appearance.
That was a really bad pass for a sack. I knew.
Bailey, your save, the word for your save is nice.
Thank you.
It's not,
Well, I would have gotten 69, 83, 70.
I would have gotten every one of them, and it's not, it's not your fault. It's because I said we should pass because for some reason,
We're fine.
dates
We're fine.
weren't coming into my head.
We're fine.
All right. Another close matchup here in the championship. Bailey with the clutch answer to sweep that round. 97 points to Florida Prospect Report, the bat around with 85. We're going to move on to a pivotal question number 3. And we're back to Paul and Bailey as our buzzers. There are 94 points available for this question. The top 8 answers are on the board. Name a player that the Orioles have selected in the Major League Rule 5 draft in this. Bailey.
Anthony Santander.
Anthony Santander, the number 1 answer. The rest of the question is in this century, so since 2000. You said you're going to play?
I'm sorry. I'm really eager. Yeah, we're going to play. Sorry.
All right. I guess Bailey is keen on his Rule 5 picks. Eric, we're going to head over to you. Name a player the Orioles have selected in the Major League Rule 5 draft in this century.
Oh. Bailey, I don't study this as intensely as you do. Michael Rucker. We did.
I believe that's a correct answer, but not a memorable one.
Okay.
And so that's going to be strike number 1. Bailey, there's still 7 answers left.
Sorry if I jumped the gun, Eric. I thought this would be one where we would do well in. Nestor Cortez, I know, was a Rule 5 draft pick, so I'm going to go with him.
Nestor Cortez was indeed, didn't have any success here, and now is having all of it with the Yankees. Eric, we're back to you. Name a player the Orioles have selected in the Major League Rule 5 draft in this century.
I believe Drew Jackson.
Wow.
Drew Jackson, strike 2, a little more obscure. I guess he was a Rule 5 pick, but not one of the more notable ones on the list.
Actually, he was not. Actually.
Bailey, down to your final strike. He was not?
The Phillies took him, and then the Orioles traded for him after that.
That's right. Yep. All right. Anyway, Bailey, we're back up to you.
Sorry, my apologies, Eric. I might have got too excited on saying we play, but my next guest is going to be Richie Martin.
Richie Martin on the board as well. That's 39 points. Eric, pressure is on. Let's see if you can rebound with a player the Orioles have selected in the Major League Rule 5 draft since 2000.
I can't. Phil Bradley.
I believe that's another correct answer, but the board was unkind to you, Eric.
Phil Bradley, wasn't that in the 80s?
He played in 1989, right? So that's right.
I gotcha. Well, Paul and Zach, you may discuss amongst yourselves a chance to steal the board, and you could potentially rack up some serious points here with the opportunity to discuss. Name a player the Orioles have selected in the Major League Rule 5 draft in this century.
Ryan Flaherty, my man.
Ryan Flaherty.
Ryan Flaherty.
Tyler Wells.
Ryan Flaherty at number 2. You guys get the steal.
Tyler Wells.
Tyler Wells.
Tyler Wells.
TJ McFarland.
TJ McFarland.
Yeah.
TJ McFarland, a correct answer, but not on the board.
Wow, really?
A little surprisingly.
Who are you polling?
Yeah.
McFarland was here
TJ.
for, 3 years at least?
Yeah, and he's actually like still a really good reliever in baseball
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Hey, didn't quite make it. So 76 points will go to you guys, and it'll stop there.
Jose
Any
Mesa
more-
Jr. and Yuri Tavares.
Bautista too. Justin Turner. those guys.
Jose Bautista. No, I don't think Justin Turner was a Rule 5 pick, but
I think he was. I thought.
McFarland with not quite enough votes. Jose Bautista was. Turner was not. Alfredo Simon
Okay.
was as well. And yes, that Jose Bautista. And then I think that was 2003. Coming in at number 8. Kind of a stunner that this one made it ahead of McFarland. But
Pedro Arujo, Joey
Oh,
Rickard.
come on.
How did we miss Joey Rickard?
Oh, yeah, Joey Rickard.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
there's Joey Rickard. And then at number 7, I'm not sure many people remember that this guy was a Rule 5 pick, but he made it onto the board. Jay Gibbons.
Yeah.
He was the Rule 5 pick in 2000.
Pedro Arujo and Jay Gibbons being picked and not TJ McFarland is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
TJ
we've
McFarland
had-
was like a given to me. I
Yeah.
thought.
I thought so too.
We have had a few instances of that throughout the tournament, and sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
I also had down Brandon Bailey. I believe he was one.
Yeah, I was going to say Bailey too. Hence,
With my
And Nuri Tavares was the year Santander was picked. I remember playing with him in MLB The Show. It's the only reason I remember that.
Yeah, he was supposed to have a really good bat. I remember wanting him to stick around more than Santander.
Yeah.
There are definitely a lot to choose from. The Orioles have made at least one selection in the Rule 5 draft every year since 2006. So plenty of names included to go around. But the Bat-Around gets 76 points in that one, which brings their total up to 161. Florida Prospect Report with 97, which essentially means Paul and Zach, you guys need to win one more of the final 2 rounds in order to be crowned the champions of Orioles Prospect Feud. Bailey and Eric, you will need to win each of the final 2 rounds, assuming you get enough points there in order to, be crowned the champions. And so with that, we will move on to question number 4 in our championship matchup, and this will be for Zach and Eric. There are 98 points available for this question, and the top 8 answers are on the board. Name a 2022 Oriole who was born outside of the United States. Zach.
Felix Bautista.
Felix Bautista, the number 1 answer. Puts yourselves in a good position. Would you guys like to pass or play?
Let's go for the win.
I think we pay. I think we play.
I think we play too.
All right. Let's see if you can run the table. Paul, the board is yours.
I'm gonna say Ramon Arias.
Go boom.
Ramon Arias on the board as number 5 answer. Zach, back to you.
Ciano Perez.
Anthony
Perez making quick work of this.
Anthony Santander.
Santander on the board. Zach, back to you.
Okay, now I'm drawing a blank for some reason, Paul. Hold up. We'll get here.
It gets tougher after you rattle off the obvious.
Yeah. The first baseman, what was his name? Chirinos. Give me Chirinos, actually. Give me Chirinos.
I'll give you Chirinos. 2 more points.
Jorge Mateo.
Oh, good.
Jorge Mateo on the board. 2 answers left. You still have all 3 strikes to work with, so you have a little bit of a cushion here. Playing for the championship. Name a 2022 Oriole who was born outside of the United States.
It's harder after that. Orioles were born outside the United States. I'm trying to think of the first baseman.
I know his name.
I don't think I'm gonna get that one. So I'll just throw out Dylan Tate. Maybe, I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know.
Dylan Tate's going to be strike 1. Paul, we're back to you.
Jesus Aguilar. Wow.
Ooh.
A correct answer, but didn't really play enough of the season for, I guess, people to remember. Still 2 answers left. Zach, down to your final strike. Name a 2022 Oriole who was born outside of the United States.
I'm thinking here. Wow, that's really tough. I don't know if I know a guy.
You just take a guess, man. Just rack your brain. You know the roster.
Yeah, born outside of the United States. That's man. I mean, Dean Kramer. I'll throw that out there. I don't know. I doubt it. I know he's Israeli, but maybe someone said it. I don't know.
Oh, I like that guess.
I don't
Dean
know.
Kramer going to be strike number 3.
Born outside.
Bailey and Eric, you have an opportunity to steal. There are 2 answers left. Name a 2022 Oriole who was born outside of the United States. You may discuss.
Eric, I'm going to redeem ourselves from last round. I apologize for Rougned Odor, right?
That's what
Odor.
that's what my mind is saying too.
Yeah. I'm not going to guess him, but I am going to say Yasniel Diaz fits this criteria. He only had like 1 at bat, though, so definitely not guessing him. But we're going to go with Odor.
Yeah, we'll go with Odor.
All right.
Doesn't even register in my brain because he's so bad.
He played like 140 games.
Great job, Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, look, you do what you can.
Rougned Odor for the steal, born in Venezuela. There is 1 answer left. You guys could give it to me if you have it.
So Yasniel Diaz does fit the criteria, but did he even play long enough for people to think of him? Could there be a Canadian that we're not thinking of? Like the Dean Kramer? I think Dean Kramer was born in Israel, so that was a good guess. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I know that he was born outside. No, that's not true. That's not true.
I should look this up. I don't know.
Kramer, I believe, is a Cali guy.
Yeah, he is a Cali guy.
That's right.
Okay.
I'll give you a few more seconds to get these final few points.
You can say whatever you want.
All right, we'll throw out Yasniel Diaz. It is accurate, so.
It is accurate, but you will find him in the others honorable mentions. There are a bunch of them. Jesus Aguilar, Jonathan Aruz, Inir Cano, Yasniel Diaz.
That's Alex Wells.
Alexander Wells, yes. Born in Australia.
Oh,
Number 7 answer, Jorge Lopez.
Oh, man.
Born in Puerto Rico.
That question
Which
got
brings us
hard
to-
real fast.
There's some obvious ones, and then it gets a little tougher, and we certainly saw that in this case. Well, we are moving on to question number 5. Winner take all in this here championship of Orioles podcast feud between the Bat Around and Florida Prospect Report. While I get the scoreboard set up and before we enter our 5th question, I'll start with Paul and Zach. Go ahead and plug what it is that you guys are doing with your show or other ventures.
We host the Bat Around on Saturdays for Press Box Sports in Baltimore from 10 a.m. to noon, though we usually go to like 12:30. I host, Zach produces and co-hosts. We just had Luke Jackson on the show this past week for a really fun roundtable. Ryan, you were part of the roundtable with him back in October.
That was.
We also had Ryan Ripken on to talk about his joining the Baltimore Baseball Tonight over on 105.7. So we're going to have another good guest this week. And, I feel like we put on a good show every week, so tune in.
You sure do. I've filled in as a guest host a handful of times. Zach, did you want to expand on that or anything?
No, I mean, Paul always grabs us good guests, so you can show up for that. And then we talk baseball for hour plus just by ourselves without guests. So it's always a good time. We never want to stop because, we always have something else to say. We always have another opinion to get in. So it's always a lot of fun.
And then Eric and Bailey, I know it's a big time of year for you guys. What are you doing with your show and otherwise?
Well, first of all, on Saturday mornings, my role with the Bat Around is to listen and text Zach all the time. So I also play a role in their production. For us, it's time for minor leaguers to come start reporting back to camp. So we follow that, we report on that, and we cover that. And for the game you created, we're very satisfied that it came down to the last possession like it should.
Bailey, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, follow Eric on Instagram, Eric_Birdland22. Follow us on Twitter, FL Prospect Pod. On both of those social medias, you can see exclusive videos from Orioles, Pirates, and other locations in Florida. We go to FSL and FCL games, and then we talk about it. So we hope you'll give us a listen.
Good stuff. All right. Well, we're going to move on to question number 5. we have Florida Prospect Report. Oh, let me share the screen here. Sorry.
Ooh, the last one.
The last one, Florida Prospect Report with 191 points to the Bat-Around's 161, which means the Bat-Around needs to win with 30 or more points, which is kind of a given in any round. So the winner of this final round will be crowned our champion of Orioles Podcast Feud. We have the Bat-Around came into tonight 3-0, lost Eric again. Eric and Bailey, the Cinderella story. You've now won 5 consecutive games, going for a 6th, and we are down to the wire. And we'll move on to question 5 once I get Eric back in here.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going on for like a big math test or something right now. Like this is nerve wracking.
The sound, but now I'm back. I'm sorry about that.
This is
No
more
worries.
nerve-wracking than my finals.
Yeah, I am
Oh,
very
man.
extremely nervous right now. I have to say, I haven't been this nervous in a very long time. I like it.
Well, I have to say it's fitting that this is our final question for the tournament because, in my opinion, it's a fun one. We're going to move on. This is going to be between Paul and Bailey to buzz in for the deciding round for Orioles Podcast Feud. There are 95 points available. The top 7 answers are on the board. Paul and Bailey. Fill in the blank. Ryan blank. Bailey.
Mountcastle. Oh, man.
Ryan Mountcastle coming in at number 1. Would you guys like to pass or play?
I can think of 2 off the top of my head. I don't know if we can think of 6 though, but I feel like I don't know. But can we pass? It's the last round.
Okay, again, the same question that I asked you before. If you cannot recall or guess all of them, put the burden on them to do it. So
I know they can think of the 2 I'm thinking of though.
Damn, my heart's beating fast.
What if they run the board and it's like, man, we could have got those names.
then they deserve to win.
You feel strongly about passing?
I'm not going to answer that. I feel strongly that I don't know a great deal of the possible remaining answers.
I think I can name 3 of the answers on there, but in fact, I think I know I can name 3 of the answers on there. But if you don't,
Is that okay?
Need a decision, guys.
I would prefer to pass because 3 is not 6.
all right. Since I didn't listen to you on the Rule 5 one,
Don't. Okay. We'll pass.
All right. A very difficult decision to pass. You got my heart beating quick. We're going to head over to Paul and Zach. Paul, the board is yours. Fill in the blank. Ryan blank.
Ryan McKenna.
Wasn't in the hair question, but he's on this one. Zach, we're back to you. Fill in the blank. Ryan blank.
Ryan Flaherty.
Flaherty on the board. Paul?
Ryan O'Hearn. Is his name Brian?
No,
it
it's
is Ryan, but
No, it's Ryan.
These questions, remember, were asked around November. Ryan O'Hearn was not yet in the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Zach, there are 2 strikes left to work with. Still 4 answers on the board.
Ryan. Ryan Blake. No.
Ryan.
Ryans. I feel like there haven't been a lot of Ryans.
All right, hang on a second.
Okay.
Because I don't want it to be a point of contention. And because you did say it, even though it was a joke. Blake received enough votes to get on the board. So I'm going to give you these 3 points. It's a minuscule
Wow.
It's a minuscule thing, but I did make it onto the board. I didn't mess with anything to put myself there. That's a real deal. I will
That's
give you those
funny.
points because you said it. I don't want it to cause a thing later. So that is one of your Ryans. Paul, we're back to you.
All right, then. Ryan Ripken.
That's a great answer, Paul. That is a great answer.
A great answer indeed, and fresh in your mind because you just had him on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan.
So clearly you do have enough points to win the game if you are to run the table. You have 2 strikes left, and there are 2 answers remaining on the board. Fill in the blank. Ryan blank.
Wow. Not a lot of Ryans I know, Paul. I'm sorry here.
I'm struggling too, man.
There's not a lot of Ryans I feel like have been in Orioles history. So, Ryan Seacrest. I mean, I don't know.
My gosh.
I don't know.
Well, that is going to be strike two. There are two answers left on the board. Paul, are you able to give me one of them? You're down to your final strike, playing for the championship.
Why do I feel like there was a? That's not going to be the right answer.
Give it a shot if you even think.
No, I don't even think that's his first name. I'm going to say it anyway. Ryan Lavarnway.
That is a Ryan who existed. He was a catcher. Didn't spend much time in the Orioles system, but I think he was here briefly after being on the Red Sox, which means
just remembered an answer.
Well,
it's too late.
We're over to Bailey and Eric.
Oh, man.
There are two answers left on the board for the championship. Can you fill in the blank? Ryan blank.
Well, before we even discuss, I just want to say the three I knew were Flaherty, Ripken, and McKenna, so those are off the board. And then the second that Zach said Ryan Blake, I was like, wait, that's actually not a bad guess. So it's funny that was on there. But Eric, do you have anything?
I have two.
Okay.
Both from the farm. One whose last name is Ryan, and I don't even think anyone here knows him. Jim Ryan, like from a couple years ago, right? And the other one is the one who replaced Cal Ripken, Ryan Miner. That's the only one that I can think of. I am, being that there's only 2 slots left, I don't very confident in that, but I can't think of another one.
Yeah. I don't know if I have one either. I'm thinking of prospects. I'm thinking of major leaguers. I was like, maybe just throw out, if we didn't know anything, just throw out a last name like Johnson or Smith, but at least you thought of an actual player. So
I also thought when he said Lavarnway, he was going to be there.
Yeah,
so
me too.
The only one that I can think of whose first name is Ryan that has a last name is Ryan Miner.
Guess we have to go with that, right? I can't think of anything.
Okay, we'll go with Ryan Miner for the win and to end this game against a opponent that we certainly respect.
Congratulations, guys.
Paul knows it's on there for the win.
Thank you, Eric.
Ryan Miner.
Ryan Miner.
The final Ryan. Actually, well, there's one more Ryan.
Ryan Adams.
Not Ryan Adams. Actually, you'll find him in the honorable mentions. Coming in at number 7, Ryan Watson.
Oh, wow.
Reigning minor league pitcher of the year.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And then couldn't beat me. Bannon, his first name is Rylan. Mattis, his first name is Brian. Eads is a correct answer, Ryan Eads. Ryan Wagner, the former public address announcer. And then BJ Ryan. That's not really how this question works, but I appreciate the answer nonetheless. Bailey and Eric, Florida Prospect Report. You are the champions of Orioles podcast feud. How does it feel?
I got to give a lot of credit to Eric there. He was very confident on passing, and then it paid off. So thank you for your decision, Eric.
Right. You can go ahead and update the bio on Twitter to label us champion. And I definitely want to say first, thank you to Ryan and thank you to the other team. I'm glad it was you guys that ended up in the finals. It was a challenge I respected. You made every single question difficult. So thank you very much for putting us to the test.
Ditto. Well said. Thank you, Ryan, and thank you guys and all of our opponents. It's just been a really fun time. I appreciate you putting this together. So
yeah, Ryan, thanks for putting this together. Congrats, guys.
Great work, Ryan.
Solid win.
Great work.
Thank you. It was a fun one.
It has been an absolute blast, I must say. 15 matchups in Orioles podcast feud, and our champion, a team that lost in the first round, overcoming what I would consider pretty crazy odds to make it this far and knock out what many considered to be the favorite in the bat around. Well, Paul, it's going to be back to us on this show on Give That Fan a Podcast, back to our normal thing. But I have been asking my guests, once their time is up, to describe their time on Orioles Podcast Feud in 3 words. Zach, I'll go ahead and start with you.
I feel like the Eagles right now, honestly.
That's not 3 words.
I feel like the Eagles right now. Yeah,
The Philadelphia Eagles. That's my 3 words.
the Philadelphia Eagles. Paul, what about you?
It's not indicative.
That's fair. It was.
You know what, Paul? I don't think anyone's going to think any less of us.
No, absolutely not.
My first 3 questions today were all subjective. So
These will. I will agree that a lot of the questions down the stretch were subjective. I had, I think, a pretty good mix of trivia and subjective things overall throughout the tournament. I think I front loaded the tournament with more trivia related questions, and that is something I did not intend to do. I was just kind of, selecting different questions as we went along, and then, down the wire, I was left with a group of questions that I had to either use or not have questions left, and so we ended here. But in any event, I think it was a really, really fun tournament. I know I mentioned at the beginning of the first championship matchup earlier tonight that I'd like to do Jeopardy next offseason, which will be individual teams. I would be happy to have anybody and everybody willing to participate. Whoever wants to remember some guys. It's a fun game we like to play, and it'll be hosted right here on Give That Fan a Podcast. And I guess that wraps it up. Any last words from anybody?
Thanks
Final
again.
thoughts?
yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah, just thank you, man.
Congrats on the win. Congrats on the win.
Congrats,
Thank
guys.
you. Hey, good game.
Yeah, congrats to Florida Prospect Report. Congrats as well to Paul and Zach of the Bat Around for making it to the championship undefeated. A very exciting thing. And so, Eric, you had a
Yeah, let's like the season starts like in a matter of hours or like days. So let's all of us here and all of us listening, let's have an awesome baseball season and hopefully go to the playoffs.
Yeah, go ahead.
absolutely go Orioles. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're very much looking forward to this season. Thank you, as always, to Derek and Tony at Utah Street Report for hosting the podcast.
Yep.
Thank you to all the podcasts who participated. The Bat Around, Section 336, Mass and All Access, Bird's Eye View, Talkin' Birdie, UPod Street, Locked On Orioles, The Warehouse Pod, Florida Prospect Report. I think that's everybody. I hope I didn't forget anybody. I think that was 9. I should have written them down before I did this. Anyway, thank you to everybody who tuned in on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Paul and I will be back probably next week, might take a week off, but we will be back with our normal show right here on Give That Fan a Podcast. And let's run the outro video.